Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. Today I'm bringing you another educational video as it pertains to the VA compensation process. And today I'm going to be answering the question, can a VA rater use your VA medical progress reports and or your private medical progress reports that you submit to the VA against you? Today's video, I'm going to break it down for you. Let's go. Okay, everyone, can a VA rater use your VA medical progress reports that are housed under VHA, like your primary care, if you're getting any medical treatment, if you're getting any mental health treatment through the VA Medical Center, and or your private medical reports that you send in to the VA? Can a VA rater use that against you? And the answer is yes. Believe it or not, yes. But don't worry about it. I'm going to explain what you can do if you fall into this category. But before I do that, just keep in mind, I know a lot of veterans like to send in 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 pages of evidence. Yes, vets, other vets do that. And they don't realize that somebody has to review that information. And then sometimes it gets them in trouble because they go out and they listen to they said, and I have a video on my channel where I talk about they said and how they said can get you into trouble because they said didn't tell you the background story to their claim. Now, yes, they can use it against you. And here's an example where I saw one rater use it against a particular veteran. So you saw my video where I talked about, will the VA bring back the FDC pilot program, FDC clinics, okay? So one day I'm sitting in the FDC clinic, didn't have any appointments that day, just taking walk-ins. One veteran comes in. He says, I'm here, I don't understand this rating decision. So I look at the rating decision and the veteran was already service connected for a mental condition, okay? Nothing surprising about it. So I looked at it and the rater confirmed and continued that particular percentage. I can't remember what the percentage was. Let's just say it was 50%, okay? So I'm looking at the evidence, I'm looking, I'm like, and he says, oh, by the way, here's the claim form that I submitted. I looked at it. The 526EZ was filled out correctly because it was for an increase. And then he says, here's the DBQ that I submitted. So now I'm thinking it had to be something wrong with this DBQ. I'm looking through it. I looked through it once. I looked through it twice. Even gave it a third over, okay? Nothing was wrong with the DBQ. Now I'm like, in the explanation or the narrative of the rating decision, something caught my eye. And I really didn't understand. I understood it, but it wasn't explained in a way that the vet could understand it. So I looked the vet up in VBMS to see who did the rating decision. Lord and behold, I knew the person. And I was pretty cool with this person. Not cool like we were hanging out after work or anything like that. I knew them. So I didn't have a problem IMing them and say, hey, can I call you? Now, there's a lot of raters that I work with. I wouldn't even IM. I would not call because they were just buttholes. Okay, and I didn't want to deal with no attitude. They always had attitudes, walked around angry, whatever the case. I don't know. Maybe they didn't get hugs when they were in kindergarten. I don't know. But I knew this particular veteran, so I mean not veteran, but I knew this particular rater, and I knew he wouldn't mind, responding to it. IM. So I IM and say, hey, I got, I'm looking at a rating. I'm over at the FDC clinic. Can I give you a call? He said, sure. And I was like, hey, you got a few minutes? I know you're probably working on your production quota, but if you don't, I understand. He's like, no, Dwayne, what's your question? I said, well, I'm looking at this rating you did for this particular veteran. And I explain it. And he looks it up. He looks it up and he reads, and he was like, oh yeah, I remember this. I just recently did this. And I was like, yeah, you did it within the last 2 weeks. And you know what he said? The evidence that is listed on the private DBQ from the private examiner did not match the reported symptoms that the veteran reported to his mental health provider at the VA medical center. So think about it. When you go to that VA medical center and you have that progress notes, you can go into myhealthyvet.gov, I believe, and look on the blue note. You can see all those progress reports, right? Guess what? The rater can see those too. So what the rater did, they got the DBQ, and the DBQ clearly stated the veteran warranted a higher percentage. But then that particular rater went over to the VA progress notes, and it's a system called Capri. I don't know if they still call it that, but that's the system that we were utilizing to see and look at veterans' progress notes, right? So when he went in there, he said, I did a thorough review. And as soon as he said he did a thorough review of those VA progress notes, and he was like, it showed this. I didn't feel comfortable or justified of giving the veteran a higher percentage. So I confirmed to continue the current percentage. And then surprisingly, he was like, in that treatment the veteran's getting at the hospital, in my opinion, showed that his symptoms have improved, but I didn't want to do a proposal to reduce. Okay? I was at a loss for words. And when I hung up the phone, I went into progress notes. I looked at what the rater told me he looked at. And I looked at the vet and I was like, that's what they used against you. I'm like, you go to your private doctor and what you're telling them is different than what you tell the examiners at the VA. And he says, oh, what are my options? Okay, pull out your notification letter. And I explained what his options were. And the vet decided to go back and get another DBQ completed and submitted, okay? So, again, can the VA rater use your progress notes against you? Yes. Now, I've seen veterans submit, again, hundreds, thousands of evidence, private medical evidence from private doctors. They'll just go to the doctor, they'll get it and submit it to the VA. They don't take the time to go through it and look. What if your private doctor, let's just say you had a back condition, right? You were service connected for a back condition and you go and get a private DBQ done, right? But you've been getting treatment at this private facility and or physical therapists, okay? And they've been annotating your range of motion. And you're 20% for your back and you're trying to get to 40 due to your range of motion has decreased. You don't take the time to go through those physical therapy reports to see what your range of motion is, and you just send it in. And let's just say all that range of motion doesn't show the 40% criteria for the increase. It doesn't show the 20% for the current percentage. It shows the 10%. And if that 20% has been in effect less than 5 years, I did a video on it. Guess what's going to happen? Proposal to reduce. So again, you can submit as much evidence as you want. That is totally up to you. But my question is, when you get that private medical evidence, why don't you go through it? Take the time, invest the time to go through it and take out the information that you think that will show you warrant the increase. If it doesn't, then you have to think to yourself, do you even warrant an increase? Okay? The evidence could show improvement from a year ago, right? But currently, the condition is worse. So you got to be methodical in your thinking and say, okay, my condition has gotten worse. It may show improvement last year, but now it shows it's worsening, okay? And a lot of veterans miss that, and it gets them into trouble because guess what they do? They said, oh, the VA is supposed to do this. The VA is supposed to do that. But you don't hold yourself accountable. What are you supposed to do? Invest the time, get educated, go through those records. And again, if you're going to get in treatment at a VA medical center, I'm not saying not to. When you go in, be truthful. But if you decide to go and get a private DBQ completed from a private examiner, make sure what you're telling both examiners match. And the way you do that, tell the truth. Because when you tell the truth, your story doesn't change, okay? So, with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.